Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor. Ripple.
Do you like your drink?
I mean,
Is it growing on you?
not really. No,
You don't like
to
it?
be honest, I don't.
What's it
it
taste
tastes
like?
it has like some sort of artificially sweetened something. So like a chocolatey. I thought maybe amaretto. It's Coke mixed with some kind of liquor that has a sweet something to it.
Yeah, it probably would have been better if I would have done.
Is this another one of your modifications where you use protein powder instead of like
No.
actual cocoa powder?
No, but I think because Coke is so sweet and neither of us really drink soda, so it's like extra sweet. But it's Coke with Jim Beam vanilla and peanut butter whiskey.
Why?
Because Ohio.
Oh,
Buckeyes, peanut butter.
But with Coke?
Well, what else? Just shoot it?
Yeah.
That's
Is
not
it Skrewball?
No. It's Ram's Point.
Oh, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. There's a little
But
bit
that
less.
stuff's not bad on its own.
No, it's yummy. But maybe with the Coke, it was just. But I was just trying to think like a, Jack and Coke type thing. Jim and Coke.
But you added peanut butter.
Well, I didn't add peanut butter. The peanut butter is already in the whiskey.
I know, but peanut butter and Coke.
Oh, yeah. Sweet and
What
sweet.
made you think that would be a good idea?
Jack and Coke?
Jack doesn't have peanut butter in it.
Well, this one does.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about Chuck E. Cheese
Yeah.
and why Chuck E. Cheese's mascot is horrible.
Chuck E. Cheese is disgusting anyway. I mean, if Chuck E. Cheese never opens again, I won't be sad.
I don't know if it will. You think it'll open again?
Probably not.
I mean, they already took out all the balls because those were like a fecal.
Everything there
playground.
is, let's face it, it's disgusting. I have no intention of ever going.
I mean, when you're a kid, it's fun. It's not the thing where a kid can be a kid.
I thought that was Toys R Us,
Oh.
which is also closed forever. How was your week?
So my old boss, Patty,
Yeah, I remember Patty.
she messaged me the other day saying how much she loves our podcast.
Oh, God.
And she's starting on episode 1.
Oh, no.
I know. And I was like, oh, God.
Did you say that?
I did. I said, Patty. And she's like, I love it so much. You guys, your banter and your chemistry, it's so fantastic. It's so fun listening to you.
No, don't.
And I go, Patty, why are you listening from episode 1?
Do people do that?
I don't.
Neither do I.
I always started the most recent.
Yes.
I said, well, our sound quality gets better as we go along. Our content,
Not so much.
not so much. But it was really cool to hear from her. So that was probably the highlight of my week.
Oh,
was
that's cool.
Hearing from Patty.
I'm meeting with real life people again.
Yeah.
I also got to meet with dogs
With
on Monday.
Dogs?
Uh-huh.
Like what kind of dogs?
Search dogs.
Oh, what are they searching?
They're searching for insects at
Yeah.
work.
Tell
so
about
we have
that.
4 dogs that are trained to sniff out a certain insect that we have here in Ventura County. That's a really bad one.
Bad bug.
They're really, really cute.
What are they?
There's a pit bull mix, a Springer Spaniel, a Lab, and a Rhodesian Ridgeback mix.
Oh, so all different.
Yeah. They're very cute.
I like Rhodesians.
They're giant.
I like them. They're cool.
So, yeah, that was my fun adventure for the week. I got to go to work with dogs.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
that is good. That is a good adventure. Okay, well, do you want me to get right into this story? Because it's kind of a long one.
And you're late already.
I'm 10 minutes late.
If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
10 minutes
So you're 20 minutes late.
late. 10.
Some of us have to
Oh, my God.
get up early in the morning,
Let me put
get
that
our
on
day
repeat.
started.
Okay. Drink your drink and shut up.
It would if it didn't taste like peanut butter.
Drink it faster. All right, so my sources.
Real quick, I don't know if we said it before we started recording, but your topic and your area.
Oh, good call. My topic is Ohio. And
That's your area.
oh, right. My area is Ohio. And my content,
Your topic.
I mean, God. Oh, this is going to go well. Try again. my area is Ohio.
Uh-huh.
My topic is history.
Strange history.
Strange history that kind of evolved into a mystery.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Okay. So my contents: historic mysteries, unsolved.
Wait, what? Your sources?
What did I say?
Your content.
I said content?
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad. What was I just?
on?
What did I just? Yeah. Oh man. My sources: historic mysteries, unsolved mysteries, dark histories,
Ooh.
unsolved.com, the Generation Y podcast,
That's a good one.
and this site called Teachers Pay Teachers. And it was this cool teacher I would love to have as a student. She was teaching a lesson on writing, and she used this crime as like a topic point for her students. Went through the whole case with them, and so I downloaded her lesson plan.
What age was it for?
She said 8th. I think it was 8th through 12th.
Oh.
So like late junior high, high school.
Okay. So
Yeah.
something not too traumatizing, your story.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see about that. Anyways, I gave her my $3. I'm like, okay, teacher, how much? I don't know how much the website takes, but $3 for her lesson plan.
And if you want to give us $3,
Send it to
Venmo.
Rosa at Venmo.
A.M. Venoni. I don't even know if that's my real Venmo.
Oh, mine is Rosa-Venoni at Venmo.
That's not even your name.
Yeah, it is.
You're Brown.
No, show me where it says Brown. Legally, nowhere. Okay, so let's see how well you listen to my past stories. So when I
God.
was in high school, I had something kind of traumatic happen to me for the period of a few weeks.
Why is it so funny to me?
That I got traumatized? You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh. You've told this story.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've told it on the podcast.
You have.
So if you're a new listener, I got death threats sent to me.
It's not okay. Before people think I'm as evil as I am, I'm not laughing at the death threats. I'm laughing at your response to the death threats.
What was that?
Well, you go ahead, tell your story.
Okay. So for the period, I want to say like a month. At least it seemed like a month. Every day I would come to my math class, and on my desk would be a folded up note. And in that note, it would say, Rosa, I hate you. You suck. You're a bitch. You're a whore. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to kill you. And then the next day it would say, I'm going to kill you like this. And it said they were going to like hang me or strangle me or slice me up or, I mean, all these different ways. And then it would say, you have 10 days left to live, 9 days left to live, all the way down to 1 day. And I never told anyone about it.
That's what's weird.
That I never told anyone about it.
You're just like, well,
I only
this
have
isn't
one
good.
more
I
day.
guess I should probably do something about this now.
Yeah. So I had 1 day left to live. And I kind of got a little scared
At that point.
And I took it to the teacher and I showed it to him. And he's like, go to the office. Go to your counselor right now. And the counselor took it and I guess talked with my teacher and sent me on my way. So I go back to school the next day and there's another note on my desk. I guess he was giving me a couple more days left to live. But the teacher was watching to see who put it on my desk and they snagged the guy.
Wait, you didn't know who it was, though?
No, I had
You had no
clue.
idea.
None.
Somebody hated you that much, and you didn't even know that they existed.
Mm-mm.
That's weird.
And years later, and I actually just looked this up yesterday because he sent me a message on Facebook, like apologizing for it. And he said he was real like messed up in the head at the time and all this stuff. And he didn't really hate me. And he just was confused with life and blah, blah, blah. And I was a good person to take it out on. But I don't even remember I don't even think he got suspended. He probably got a talking to and that was it. Where now if that would happen, oh my gosh, the media would be called in. Anyways, so you remember that story.
I do remember that story.
So this one's a little bit similar.
Okay.
It's the year 1976, which is the year of
That peanut butter Buckeyes were invented.
fantastic. We're in Circleville, Ohio. It's a little town. It just has 11,700 people in it. The current census, I think it's only up to like 13 or 14,000, so it hasn't grown that much since 76.
Okay.
The town is in Pickaway County.
What?
Pickaway County.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was actually established in 1810. And I just thought this was kind of interesting, so I'm going to give a little history on how the town Circleville got its name. And there were these, they're called the Hopewell American Indians, and they built these super cool, like, circular earthworks. They're, like, these big circles, and then there's, like, an outer one, and I think the most outer one was 1,140 feet in diameter.
Wow, that's huge.
And there's this giant, like, inner ditch between the two. And then the rest of their area was built around these two circles. So,
what did they do in this ditch?
I don't know if it was just maybe protection from animals or the elements, or maybe it was part of their farming. I'm not really sure, like, how the Hopewell Indians used it.
That sounds like aliens work.
I saw, like, aerial pictures of it. Like, actually, they weren't aerial pictures. They were, like, aerial drawings of it, because the mounds have, like, now since been flattened. But it did look very much like crop circles. Yeah. So when this city was developed, they actually used those circles as part of their development. So they put the courthouse in the very middle of the center circle. So that's how Circleville got its name.
Weird.
Makes sense, though. I I kind of wonder sometimes how, like, old towns get their names. This one actually kind of makes sense. So today, the city is best known as the host of the Circleville Pumpkin Show. And the Circleville Pumpkin Show has been held every year since 1903.
Wow.
And if you feel like going to Ohio, it's going to be happening again October 20th through 23rd in 2021.
Okay.
And
live show.
it sounds, seriously, I'd be all about it. Let's go to Circleville. They have 7 parades. Last year's giant pumpkin came in at 1,755.5 pounds.
That's insane.
They have the Pumpkin Princess and the Pumpkin Mini Princess contests. There's all kinds of live entertainment. And then on the 100th anniversary, they made the world's largest pumpkin pie, which was 14 feet in diameter. And it had 360 pounds of sugar, 795 pounds of pumpkin, 60 pounds of powdered milk, and 60 dozen eggs, plus a bunch of other stuff.
This sounds amazing. Is there something bad going to happen? I feel like something awful is going to happen. You're just like leading me.
Building it up.
Yeah.
It might. So Circleville is a town. And like I said, it's a small town. Everyone knows everyone else's business. The town gossip is around, and everyone says, oh gosh, stay away from, Betty, because she's going to tell everybody.
She's going to ruin your chance of being pumpkin queen.
She will. She'll tell you about your late night in the back seat at the drive-in. It's a safe town, very little crime. It's a place where people feel comfortable leaving their doors unlocked and their keys in their cars. But in the year 1976, things changed. Many Ohio residents began receiving strange letters in their mail that detailed personal information about their lives. So these are letters, actually
handwritten letters
that people take to the post office or mail, and they come in your mailbox. So if you're a younger listener, it's not your email. It's an actual piece of paper.
Do you think that they even use email anymore? Isn't it all text message? DM.
Mm-hmm.
It's all DM.
Yeah, I don't really know how many emails. I mean, I do emails when it comes to business type stuff, but I don't email my friends.
No.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't write my friends. Yeah. But anyways, it was on a piece of paper with a stamp. These letters contain personal information that only a local would know. Or in some cases, like the person that received the letter thought maybe that they were the only person that knew. So these are some deep, dark secrets.
Do we get to hear any of them?
We do.
Okay.
The letters threatened violence and
Ooh.
often suggested a lot of hatred, along with vulgar language and lewd suggestions and artwork. So, vulgar language might be our podcast. Lewd suggestions might be our podcast. Dirty artwork, maybe our Instagram. But we're not throwing hate out. We're just having fun, right?
Just to each other.
Okay. So sometimes the letters would threaten to tell information regarding like the person that was sent it, like their work. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to, tell your boss that you embezzled $50 or whatever. So thousands.
This sounds like Pretty Little Liars.
Very much so.
This sounds exactly like Pretty Little Liars, except with written. Well, I guess A did do some handwritten letters, but a lot of it was like text message and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, this totally sounds like Pretty Little Liars.
Who is A? So thousands, but this isn't just, the 4 or 5 people involved. This is thousands of people receiving these letters.
Thousands of people?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say maybe like hundreds, and then other people just wanted to feel like they were part of the party.
I want a letter too. So most of the time, the information that was sent in these letters was correct information. It wasn't like someone was just like pulling straws and going, oh, Angela, stole 50 cents out of the take a dime thing at the liquor store. It was like information that was correct. The letters never had a return address, but they were all postmarked from Columbus, Ohio.
They're not dropping them off by hand.
No. They're actually sending them from Columbus. So all the letters were written in this like very deliberate block style writing, probably because they were trying to disguise their handwriting. And in a little bit, I'm going to pull up an image and I'm going to show you that. And I want to see if you can duplicate that writing for me.
Okay.
And I'll take a picture of it and we'll post it on Instagram.
Sure.
Many of the letters at first kind of seemed to be focused on this lady named Mary Gillespie. And Mary was a school bus driver, and the secret writer told her that they had been closely watching her. They knew where she lived and knew details about her children. One of the letters said, quote, "Stay away from Macy. Don't lie when questioned about knowing him. I know where you live. I've been observing your house and know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious. Everyone concerned has been notified, and everything will be over soon."
So is she sleeping with Macy?
You're really good at this. So this guy, Gordon Macy, and he's actually the school superintendent.
Okay.
So they're saying that Mary, the school bus driver, is having an affair
Hooking
with
up.
the school superintendent.
Got it.
So Mary, very much like Rosa, doesn't say anything. She's like, okay, I got this letter.
Because
this
she
is weird.
was.
I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just didn't want people to know that some
Yeah, but
wacko
she
wanted
had-
to kill me.
She had a reason to hide it.
Well, she says she didn't. She denies this affair. All right, so Mary, obviously, she wanted to keep this letter like on the DL, especially from her husband. She doesn't want him to think anything.
That seems suspicious.
But less than a week later, another mystery letter appeared. Mary might have thought like someone was playing a joke on her, but within 8 more days, another one arrived. And then again, in that one, like the mentions of her personal life were written in the letter, and the writer demanded that she stop this affair. They also wrote that this was not a prank and to take the warning seriously. So she kind of like is going about her day, and she's keeping an eye out to maybe see if there's someone maybe watching her. Everywhere she goes, she's kind of like got her little antenna up, but she doesn't see anyone, and she still is not telling anyone about these letters.
Well, if she wasn't actually, like if she's being honest and wasn't having this affair, then she's doing everything this person wants her to do anyway. They're telling her, okay, don't deny it. Well, nobody's asking her about it.
Mm-hmm.
And also stop it. Well, she's not doing it. So then it's like,
Well,
okay.
And what this letter writer, I guess, wants her to do is like come forward and say, yeah, I'm totally having an affair. But she denies all of that. So 2 weeks after the first letter, the third letter was sent, and it said, "Gillespie, You've had 2 weeks and done nothing. Admit the truth and inform the school board. If not, I will broadcast it on CBs, like so CB radios.
Because everybody has one of those in their car.
Posters, signs, and billboards until the truth comes out. When Mary still didn't do what the letter writer wanted, they kicked it up a notch, and they sent one to her husband, Ron Gillespie, Mary's husband. Oh, I already said that. This letter was a little bit different. It told Ron about the affair, and it also told him to put a stop to it or die.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he have to die? He's innocent in this whole situation.
So that his letter said, we must inform you, and which I thought was interesting, using the word we must inform you that your wife is having an affair with Mr. Macy. And maybe they were more formal back in like the
I doubt
late
it.
70s.
I think this person's just trying to sound fancy.
Maybe. And maybe M's are a lot easier to do in block writing than G's. So she has chased him until he caught her. Eliminate them both before they eliminate you.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Say that again.
We must inform you that your wife is having an affair with Mr. Macy.
Okay.
She has chased him until he caught her. That part? Does it make
Yeah.
sense? Like, so she went after him, threw herself out. This is how I'm taking it.
Okay.
She threw herself at him and he like gave in.
Gave in.
I guess.
Huh.
That word is, the words in there are kind of confusing, but that's how I took it.
Okay.
Eliminate them both before they eliminate you. Remember, we know where you work and know your red and white truck. No one can help you. Think of your children and their future. Call the school board and report the truth after you finish your investigation. Notify the school board immediately. Again,
Wait.
your life is in
Are you
danger.
supposed to do it immediately or after you finish your investigation?
Well, and I kind of just wonder too, like, if this person wants this affair out into the public, why don't they just go forward with the information? Why tell Mary to do it and then tell Ron to do it?
That's a very good point.
So Ron, of course, like goes to Mary and says, you know, what the hell is this? What is going on? And Mary swears she has no clue and that she wasn't cheating on Ron. Ron believes her and thinks that someone is out to possibly blackmail the couple. So the couple began to like talk about like, who is this person that is trying to pin us against each other? Who's writing this horrible stuff about us? And they finally decide to confide in 3 people. And the 3 people that they talk to is Ron's sister, Karen, her husband, Paul Fisher, and Paul's sister.
Wait, not the guy, the superintendent or whatever?
Not yet. Mm-mm.
That's weird.
No, they kept
'Cause
it like
you would
within the family.
Think that he might have somebody who has something against him.
Or maybe he's getting letters as well. But that wasn't ever discussed with him.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was a poor choice.
So Mary thought she had an idea who was sending these letters because a few of them, I guess, had been signed with the letter W. And that led Mary to the conclusion that the writer was Bill or William Macy. And Macy is the superintendent and William is his son. So, but if there was no affair, then why would William be writing these letters? So I guess if there was an affair, his motive was, you know, protecting his mom and his family. Anyways, so the 5 people, they decide to send 5 letters to this William and tell him to stop. And they had Paul Fisher write 5 different letters.
Okay.
And send them.
Wait, where are they sending them?
To William.
To the son.
Right. Saying, like, stop it, knock it off.
Okay.
And Paul Fisher, they interviewed him later, and they say, like, there's a quote from Paul, and it says, "We thought we'd scare the guy. We sent him 4 or 5 letters only. There was no violence in them or anything."
What'd they say?
And it says, "Just that we knew who he was and what he was doing, and we sent him the letters." Their plan seemed to work, at least for a while. So they weren't getting as many letters. Maybe the people in the town were still getting them here and there, but they kind of died back for a little while. But then on August 19th, 1977, 9 months after the first letter, the phone rang at the Gillespie house. The letters had continued this entire time, reminding Ron and Mary that they were being watched. Ron answered the phone. He was home, like babysitting the kids. I don't know if Mary was at work, but she wasn't home. And when he answered the phone, he was like visibly upset. He slammed down the phone receiver. He picked up his gun and ran to get into his red and white truck.
Okay.
He told his kids that he was going out to stop the letter writer.
Oh.
So we don't really know like what was said on the other end of that phone, but obviously Ron gets pissed.
Okay.
He knows who's the letter writer. He grabs his gun, runs to his truck, and he's like, I'm going to stop this. So just minutes later, Ron was dead.
What?
Just a few miles from his home, as he was crossing an intersection, he lost control of his truck and hit a tree.
What?
Within the short time frame that he was driving, Ron's gun fired one shot.
Oh, so the person was already in the truck. Wait, no, they made a phone call. No, there's more than one person.
Who's A? It's unclear who or what the target was because no bullet or bullet hole was ever found. But they do know that somehow within the minutes that Ron went from his home to the tree, his gun was fired.
Okay, wait. Back up. So
Okay.
these two kids are home.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's home with the kids.
Right.
Those two kids are the last ones
To see their father alive.
him
Ron alive.
besides the person who killed him.
Well, he ran into a tree.
But the gun went off.
But the gun, he didn't die from a gun wound.
But he shot at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so angered by what he heard on the phone, and he was so certain he knew who it was, that he was determined to go and kill that person.
Put a stop to them. Mm-hmm. Whether he was going to threaten them with the gun, I mean, it doesn't say I'm going to kill him, but he's like, I'm going to put a stop to this.
Oh, weird.
And he said, you know, like his kids remembers like him leaving because he's like, okay, I'm out of here. I'll be back. Goodbye. I'm stopping these letters.
Okay.
So,
Wait, but, and they don't know who it was because he died.
Mm-hmm.
But did they track down where the phone call came from?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if they could do that in the 70s.
They definitely, I think, maybe, possibly could have done that in the 70s. And then they live in a circle. Like, did they know what direction of the circle he was heading? Who lives that direction?
It was like minutes from his home. So he didn't even like really get, I don't know if they have a freeway or whatever. But yeah, he didn't even really like get on like a main, like he was heading to the intersection.
Damn it, Rob, or whatever his name was.
Ron,
damn it.
So the police investigated the crash site and ruled it an accident. When they performed an autopsy, they reported that Ron's blood alcohol was almost 2 times the legal limit, which in Ohio at the time is 0.16.
Damn it, Ron.
But Ron's family and friends said that Ron didn't drink. And the family that had seen him leave the house said he didn't appear drunk. So at one point, the sheriff of the town, Sheriff Radcliffe, he said that it looked like there had been some foul play involved in the crash site, but later retracted that statement, and he is the one that ultimately ruled the crash as drunk driving. So another thing that was kind of strange was the truck was sent to be destroyed just a couple days after the accident. And I don't know who makes that call, but I guess if they're investigating it for maybe more bullet holes or what, they wouldn't have gone and like crunched it. You know, in those big like block cruncher things.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of suspicious. Like, why just a couple days later are you going to just do away with this truck?
That is weird. I don't know. There's a lot of weird things about that because if he didn't drink and he had a high blood alcohol level, then he either had alcohol on him somewhere in the truck or somewhere in the house. So couldn't you have easily found that?
Yeah, in the truck. Yeah. And I mean, unless he like tossed the bottle out as he's driving. But I mean, like I said, it was minutes from his home. And if you're going to pound a whole bunch of alcohol, does it actually get into your bloodstream instantly?
No, he had to have been drinking at home, unless the autopsy tech is the murderer.
We'll see. So not too much longer, various Circleville residents received more letters that said that the sheriff, Radcliffe, had been involved in a cover-up. The writer was demanding and almost begging for a more thorough investigation of Ron's death to take place. So for the next few years, Mary continued to receive more and more letters.
What if Mary's sending the letters?
Around 4. You are going
What if
through
she's just
Pretty
really,
Little Liars.
really bored and she's just every day driving that school bus, waiting for something exciting to happen in Circleville?
What was the town in Pretty Little Liars called?
They had Ravenswood next door that was also
The ghost town.
Yeah, but it was like they walked into another TV series. It was a little crossover promo. Shoot, I don't remember.
It's been a while since I've watched
Something super bougie.
that. I don't remember. Well, it wasn't Circleville. So Mary, over the next few years, she gets around 40 letters in total.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is going on now from 1977 to 1983. And she's not the only one still getting these letters. The residents of Circleville totaled into the thousands. And then when they're like collecting these letters, there were so many that it could fill an entire storeroom in the Pickaway County Police Station. So horrible things are still being written along with personal information, and there's still no leads.
And they still don't know what this person wants.
Because they're just telling secrets from all kinds of different people. They're threatening.
But are any of them true?
The secrets?
Yeah.
Most of them are.
But the first one wasn't? Or it was Mary a liar, and that's what she got?
Well, maybe. But Mary's 12-year-old daughter was even singled out because one of the letters said that they were going to put a bullet in her head. So these are very scary, serious threats being made. And Mary and Gordon Macy finally admitted to having a relationship.
Oh.
But both say that they didn't begin their relationship until after the letters.
Bullshit.
After Ron was dead.
Nope.
And after Gordon was divorced.
Definitely not.
So it's like the letters brought them together. This is a perfect Valentine's Day
I hate
story.
that love story.
So now there's these signs and posters popping up around Circleville pointing out the affair, and they're showing up on Mary's bus route.
Oh, she's still driving that school bus.
She's still working for the superintendent. Mm-hmm.
That seems like a conflict of interest.
While she's driving the bus, she sees this sign accusing her daughter of sleeping with Gordon Macy, and she just lost it.
Wait. Sleeping with her now husband?
They're not married.
Oh, well, her boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Talk about conflict of interest.
Weird.
And she's like, this is ridiculous. She stops the bus. I don't know if there's kids on the bus or not, but she jumps out.
I'm going to imagine that there is.
Can you imagine? You didn't ride the bus as much as I did.
I sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I had some cool bus drivers, but I can't imagine one of them. Well, no, I can. One of them pulling over, jumping out and ripping this sign off the side of the road. And then she sees another sign, and that sign has a box tied to it somehow. So there's like a sign, and then there's like a box, and there's like a piece of twine or string tied to the sign to the box, connecting the two.
Seems elaborate.
So she picks up the box, she picks up the sign, she goes back into the bus and tries to like pry it open, but it was like glued together.
Okay.
So she takes it back, and once she opens it, inside there's these two pieces of styrofoam propping up a small pistol.
What?
And
Was it
attached
supposed to shoot her?
Mm-hmm. Because attached to the trigger on the pistol was that string. So whoever placed it there thought that if she pulled out that sign, she'd maybe pull it hard enough to pull the string, which would pull the trigger and shoot her. But because she saw the box maybe before she saw the sign, she picked it up first. So it was a booby trap that didn't work.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I guess they would have known her bus route. This is Pretty Little Liars. Okay, whoever wrote these letters, if they ever find out, should get paid royalties from Pretty Little Liars because that entire TV show is based off of this event.
It's and I didn't even put that together when I was doing this story.
Not?
I don't know. Yeah. What I kept replaying in my head was the line from Tommy Boy or Black Sheep. I always get those two mixed up with Chris Farley.
Yeah.
And when he's on the boat with that girl and the kids are like saying like, oh, there's a whale and all this stuff, like making fun of him.
I know where you live and I've seen where you sleep and I swear on everything holy your mothers will scream when they see what I've done to you.
And I thought it was children. Your children will scream when they...
Because it was kids.
Yeah. Yeah. But I kept replaying that over and over in my head. So the string that held the sign of the box was also attached to the trigger. So if Mary, but also what I thought about, like, okay, what if some like good Samaritan is going by and sees this really bad sign and they're like, oh, I'm going to take this down before Mary sees it or before anyone else sees it. What if it shot them? That would have been, I mean, not that it's good that it was shot Mary.
Yeah, I mean, shooting anybody is probably not the best route to go down.
Right.
But yeah, that's something to consider.
So Mary goes home. She calls the police, shows them the booby trap, which I hate saying that word. Booby trap. And they examine the gun, and they see that someone had tried, not very well, to file away the serial number. But obviously it wasn't a very good job because they discovered that the gun was registered to a man named Paul Fisher. Do you remember that name?
Paul Fisher. He was... who's Paul Fisher?
Paul?
The Pumpkin King?
Fisher is Karen, who's Ron's sister's husband.
Oh!
He's the one that wrote the letters to William.
Yeah.
So Paul and Karen, Ron's sister, they'd recently separated and they're going through a divorce. And it's not a very good divorce. He's getting everything. He's getting the house. He's getting custody of the kids. He's getting the cars. It's nasty.
Weird.
But Paul, he's asked to come into the police station on February 25th, 1983 by Sheriff Radcliffe. Sheriff Radcliffe is also the one that deemed Ron's traffic accident or crash as an accident rather than foul play.
Crash situation.
So small town names are coming back. So he shows Paul some of these mysterious letters and asked him to try and copy the messages exactly as they were written. And this is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to show you a couple, and I want you to copy them exactly as you see them.
I already think this is a flawed test, but okay.
He also read some lines from the letters, and he had Paul write in that style what he was dictating. So when Sheriff Radcliffe completed his, handwriting analysis test, he had Paul then take him to his garage to show him where he kept his gun. Because, remember, his gun is now in the custody of the police because Mary had it in her booby trap. In her boobies. The gun, obviously, is not there. And that's when Paul explained that his gun had recently, been stolen. He knew that it was missing. He knew that it wasn't going to be there because he had recently contacted his buddy Charles Spencer to come and help him look for it. And Charles Spencer had admitted to this as well. He's like, yeah, Paul asked me to come look for it. We couldn't find it. Yes, Spencer is the name of one of the characters on Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, yeah. I like Spencer as a girl's name.
I think it's super cool. I like it too.
Okay, can I just point out that is something that you could easily plan, though?
That your gun is not there?
Yeah. Like if you were using it for a booby trap
Uh-huh.
and you knew that there's a good chance that police would be able to track that gun back to you, wouldn't you be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to call a witness to verify that it's
my
not
gun
yeah.
was stolen. He never reported the gun stolen. Just his buddy Charles came and helped him look for it.
I don't know. He's looking pretty suspect right now.
Okay. So that's enough information for Sheriff Radcliffe to arrest Paul for the attempted murder of Mary Gillespie. So on October 24th, 1983, Paul goes on trial for her attempted murder, and he pleads not guilty. But he was also never charged with writing the letters. So the only thing that they legally have him on right now is the gun. Mm-hmm. The letters, however, were what most of the trial was based on. A handwriting expert took the stand and stated that they believed that Paul was the writer. There was another witness at the trial.
But what made them believe that?
Well, looking at his writing compared to the letters.
Oh, okay. I see.
The writing that Sheriff Radcliffe had him perform.
So the jury was then considered handwriting experts, and they were like, "Hey, does this look
the
like
same?" But
wait, and didn't you say like try to copy this letter?
He specifically said, "Make it look like this."
Okay, because when you were telling that, I'm like, all right, if this were me, I would just pretend that I'm not good at copying that and do a really shitty job.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't look like it's me. Like that seems super simple and like a really, really bad test to determine whether or not somebody wrote that letter.
And that's what some people think that Sheriff Radcliffe was trying to do. And also this mystery writer, he's writing in this bizarre block font. He's not writing like a normal person writes.
Right. So now we have Sheriff Radcliffe, who deemed Ron's death as accidental, and then told Paul Fisher to try to copy this letter. Maybe it's Sheriff Radcliffe.
Okay, we'll see. So this other witness that comes on to the trial said that they saw this guy hanging around like alongside the road next to where the booby trap was found for around 20 minutes, just kind of like standing there, just watching. And this man was driving an orange. Sometimes articles said orange, sometimes it said yellow, somewhere in there, an orange or a yellow Chevy El Camino.
I don't know why that's funny to me. But
Orange Chevy El Camino?
Yeah.
That would be great, right? Paul didn't.
Joe Dirt.
Paul didn't own an orange El Camino, and the description of the man didn't match Paul's. So now we have, a witness maybe that could have been someone that set the gun there, but we don't know. But it was at least enough to come onto the trial. They did a thorough search of Paul's house and garage, and they looked for items that maybe he would have used to make the booby trap. Maybe the glue, maybe the box, maybe the styrofoam, even the twine. They couldn't find anything that matched it. And they also couldn't find any... Did you almost fall backwards?
I almost did.
Can you imagine if you fell through that window right now?
Well, I think I would have fallen forward because I thought I was closer to the wall than I really was.
Oh, you're not. You're right next to the window.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
They also didn't find any ammunition for the gun that was used in the booby trap. So I don't know how many like rounds were in that. Probably just one, I would assume, if it's just got.
Yeah, I mean, why waste all those extra bullets?
The bullets are
Hold on to
expensive.
those.
Yeah.
Ammo is hard to come by.
But they didn't find anything that matched. So there's more evidence proving in my, thinking that Paul is not guilty.
Unless he just did a really good job at
cleaning up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
They didn't let Paul take the stand because they told him that if he did take the stand, then they were going to bring over 1,000 letters to court and make them admissible. So right now, the only letters that the court and the jury is allowed to see are the around 40 that Mary received.
Wait, what sense does that make? Like, if you take the stand, we get to bring in this other evidence, but if you don't take the stand, we don't get to bring that evidence in?
I don't understand lawyer stuff, but yes, you are correct. That's how they said it.
That doesn't make any sense.
Apparently, like, they're saying that's also, gonna piss off the rest of the residents of Circleville, and there's already like a lynching wanting to happen for Paul because they're pissed. They think they're in their minds when this trial first started, because of the interviews that Sheriff Radcliffe was giving, like, they're convinced Paul is the writer.
But what motive would Paul have to write letters to all of these other thousands of people?
I have no idea.
Because maybe there's a nasty divorce and maybe there's some like bad blood between him and his former sister-in-law. But does Paul really have time throughout his entire day to
write thousands
and go and spy on these people? Do you know who can go around and spy on people and make it seem like it's just their everyday job?
Sheriff Radcliffe.
That's right.
Or Mary, the bus driver. She's doing circles in the town. She sees things.
Circling all of Circleville.
She's waiting at the bus stop for little Timmy to get on, and she sees who's leaving Betty's house. I brought Betty back.
Poor Betty. She'll never be Pumpkin Queen.
So he doesn't take the stand, and they're only allowed to use these 3940 letters that were directly addressed to Mary. Mary, however, did take the stand, and she testified that she believed that Paul was the writer.
Oh, weird.
She's like, Paul's sister came by. Nope, not Paul's sister.
Her sister.
No, Paul's ex-wife came by.
Which would be, was that Ron's sister? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know it gets weird. So she says that Ron's sister came by and said, Paul's the one that's doing this.
It's her because of the bad divorce. Because he got the money and the house.
And the kids.
Well,
maybe.
I don't know if that's a win or
maybe
not.
She wanted just the house and the money. So Paul did, though, have an alibi for most of the day that the booby trap was set up. But his boss testified that he wasn't at work on that day that the booby trap was found. So whether he had the day off, whether he took it off, I don't know.
Or she knew he would have that day off.
And I don't know what his alibi was. Just another friend maybe saying, hey, we were looking for the gun that day. I don't know. So Paul is found guilty, and he's given a 7 to 24 year sentence. He ends up serving
7 to 24.
Uh-huh.
What kind of sentence is that?
Ohio Circleville sentence.
Oh, wow.
Pick a number, any number, anywhere from 7 to 24. He ends up serving 10 years, despite the fact that the only solid evidence that they had was the gun was his. So Paul, during his time, he was a model prisoner. He is actually serving time, or he was actually serving time at the Lima Correctional Institution. And this institution was almost 100 miles from Columbus, Ohio, where the letters were postmarked from. So keep that in mind.
Because the letters keep coming while he's in prison, don't they?
You read my story?
No, I've watched Pretty Little Liars.
The residents of Circleville, Ohio, continue to receive mystery letters. They're still postmarked from Columbus. So the authorities think that Paul is somehow getting these letters out. Whether someone coming in to visit him, he's giving them, and they're like smuggling them and mailing them for him. So they're like, okay, we're going to put a stop to this. We're going to put you in solitary confinement.
Oh, Jesus.
And Sheriff Radcliffe, he's coming to the warden and just raising hell. He's like, these letters need to stop. You need to watch this guy, Paul. He's still doing this. What the hell? How are you allowing this to happen?
Because he doesn't want to admit he got it wrong.
Well, he's also coming up for, I think, something like president of the police association or something like that. He's like his tenure. He's trying to get tenured or some other promotion.
Okay.
So he's, thinking that stuff having these letters stop needs to happen. So there's no real theory as to how the letters might have been getting out of the prison. There's this girl named Tessa Unwin, and she's the spokesman for the Pickaway State Prison System. And she stated that it would be almost impossible to smuggle the letters from prison. And a quote from her said, "They keep a real close eye on him and his visitors. I don't see any way humanly possible for him to sneak out something."
I have a way to solve this.
Okay.
They're all being sent from this Columbus post office.
Why not put a surveillance on that office?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a good idea.
I mean, nobody thought of that in the 20 years that these letters have been going on?
Apparently not. So the letters are still going on. Even when Paul's in solitary confinement, the letters are going. Paul even received letters himself in prison. One of them said, quote, "Now, when are you going to believe you aren't going to get out of here? I told you 2 years ago, when we set them up, they stay set up. Don't you listen at all?"
But what is he supposed to do?
And then another one said, "Shame how things work out, but better you than me. The sheriff says you did it, but we know better, don't we?"
Okay, but also, aren't these letters supposed to be read before they're sent, like, given to a prisoner? Isn't that like a thing that they do in prisons?
I thought so.
Because you can't be like, hey, that drug deal that we have planned for this weekend or whatever.
Meet me at the corner, pick me up.
Like, I would think that letter would never make it to him.
Well, and maybe it didn't. Maybe they
intercepted it.
Right. But they released it somehow. So there's hundreds of letters continuing to be sent to the Circleville community while Paul is serving his time. And some of the community started to believe that it wasn't Paul after all. But others, especially Sheriff Radcliffe, keep placing the blame on Paul. So it's now December of 1990, and Paul becomes eligible for parole, but he was denied due to the letters that were continuing to be sent, even though there's no proof that he was the one sending them. He volunteered to take 3 different polygraph tests to help prove that he wasn't sending the letters, and he passed all of them. But when he was available for parole again in 1993, he was once again denied.
This is ridiculous. Like, I don't even know how he got convicted.
Well, and the people that are working in the prison, like, they say he's a model prisoner. Like, he doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't get in fights. He does what he's told.
But
he
even
freaking
if
goes to solitary confinement for doing nothing. But the letters are still coming.
Wow.
So it's now 1994. And with help from statements from the prison wardens, Paul's appeal was finally granted.
Jesus Christ.
Shortly after he was released, Paul Fisher writes this 176-page document that describes his side of the story, and he sends it to the FBI. He included documents from the press. So, like, this was in the news a lot, like before, during, and after the trial, as well as a bunch of the trial transcripts. He explains in these pages how he was innocent of creating the booby trap and writing the letters. Since he was trying to prove his innocence, he, kind of had to point the finger at someone else, and he points it at the Circleville law enforcement.
Just like I predicted after 3 other suspects.
You. So the cover letter that he sent to the FBI starts off like this. It says, quote, "Dear FBI, I am asking that you get involved in my former brother-in-law's murder because I believe it was a murder and covered up by the sheriff of Pickaway County here in the state of Ohio. I was sent to prison because a series of obscene and threatening letters had the county in panic. I did 10.5 years, and the letters continued, undisturbed and uninterrupted, just as always." So in these 176 pages, he describes, how...
Oh, you're not going to read all of it, Tess?
No, but, well, you could have gone onto his website because he did create a website that had all this information. This document is online still. The website has since been taken down. But Paul described how he wanted to offer up a reward for information helping to find the real letter writer, but the sheriff wouldn't let him. He also accused the sheriff of mismanaging the funds and then also funding crime figures to help boost his career. So, like what's that quote or whatever, like lining the pockets of criminals or something like that?
I have no idea. But
like he was like paying the bad guys to do certain things, and then
I was gonna go with he was just faking the statistics and saying they caught more people than they really did.
Oh, well, maybe that too. That
seems a little simpler.
Well, maybe, probably. And then this is another quote that says, quote, "I believe that the obscene, threatening, and dangerous letters were concealed because they would interfere with Sheriff Radcliffe becoming the National Sheriff Association's president." That's what I was trying to remember.
Wait, but then how is it the sheriff?
He thinks it's the whole
force?
Yeah, the whole like police.
They're all in on it.
Well, a lot of them.
I mean, to be honest, like I probably wouldn't want to kill anybody, but it would be kind of fun. Imagine if that's your day. Like you're a beat cop, right?
Uh-huh.
You're in this little town where nothing ever happens.
Right.
And you just start spying on people and then sending letters.
Oh,
like
okay.
How fun would that be?
Right. Okay, I get that. But you said I would never want to kill anyone, but it would be kind of fun.
Oh.
I was like, where are you going with this? What? Okay, I got you now.
Yeah.
You would like to spy on people. You would never want to actually commit murder. Got it. Okay.
And let's make sure we have that on record. I would never want to kill somebody.
Got it. So Paul is saying, like, check out the dates on these letters and the date of his involvement with the National Sheriff's Association. The crime rate in Pickaway County at the time would have eliminated him from this appointment. So he's like, you know, pulling stats and facts and sending them to the FBI, trying to say that this is a dirty cop.
Yeah. And I think, too, if he were to be released, that would fuck up the stats, right?
Right.
Okay. Because then they would have the wrong person and he wouldn't have had that on his record
that closure.
That he caught the murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So another thing that Paul brought up was another murder. So this is another local school teacher, and her name was Vicky Kosh. And her murder is still unsolved to this day. And that murder was kept very quiet from the public. But Paul was placing the blame on one of the prosecutors, even saying that Vicky had been pregnant with this prosecutor's baby. And that was the reason for the murder, the motive for the murder.
Like a whole nother podcast episode.
I know. And there's not a lot about her, unfortunately. But he said, Paul is saying, like, this was another reason that the letters could not be brought into court. Because remember?
Yes.
Because then these letters about Vicky and this prosecutor would have
been exposed.
Mm-hmm. And
wow, this guy got screwed.
And they talk about the murder. And in one of the letters, I guess it even threatened to dig up the bones of the baby from the cemetery and mail them out across the county.
Well, they would definitely be caught, right?
Yeah, but that's a scary threat.
Although A did try to run Emily through a giant bandsaw.
Well, and also pushed him off of like a bell tower.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, things happen.
And then trapped them in a
coffin on a train.
Life-size dollhouse out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things.
That's a great show. You need to rewatch that.
So 6 months after Paul's release, the TV show Unsolved Mysteries aired a segment on the Circleville letters. A few days later, the network got a letter of their own.
Ooh.
It simply said, quote, "Forget Circleville, Ohio. Do nothing to hurt Sheriff Radcliffe. If you come to Ohio, you, El Sickos, will pay."
Wait, El Sickos?
I know. What is that? I don't know. But, I mean, a lot of people think this is just a copycat. Someone, like, watched this episode and go, oh, I'm totally going to send a letter. I mean, because that verbiage wasn't ever
Used in other letters.
I'm going to start saying it, though. El Sickos. And it was signed the Circleville writer.
That's what we should call our listeners.
El Sickos? Can we? That's a great name.
All 5 of them.
7.
On a good day.
If you count Patty.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, however, recent information was uncovered by this guy named Martin Yant, and others have suggested that there were at least 3 letter writers involved in the case. So this is people just trying to, like, solve the mystery. And in his mind, none of them were actually Paul. He believed that one of them was the son of the superintendent, which was Will.
Was the very first person they... Okay.
Because Mary was having an affair with his dad. He believed that the second writer was a co-worker who was infatuated with Mary and was another bus driver. And his name was David Longberry. And he was like kind of a wacko. No, not kind of. He was a total wacko. He was a El Sicko. He was living with this older couple that were raising their granddaughter, and I'm maybe renting a room or whatever, and the granddaughter's 11 years old. He rapes her while the grandparents are in another room. The grandfather hears about this from the granddaughter and is threatening, you know, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get the police, blah, blah, blah. David Longberry takes off and just leaves all of his stuff behind, and he's on the run. And while he's on the run, the letters in Circleville stop. They're just gone for a while. And he was found several years later having hung himself. And
so it wasn't him.
Well, because the letters stopped around that time. This is now like in the late 90s. So it could have been him, because that's around the time the letters stopped. And then the third person that this Martin Yant guy thinks it could have been was Paul's ex-wife, which was Ron Gillespie's sister, Karen. You got that?
Yes.
It's like a web. Like, you've got to, like, connect the dots. So he thinks that she was just like super upset about not getting the house,
right?
Not getting the money, not getting the kids. And she was dating a guy at the time who owned an Orange El Camino. And they think that he helped her kind of set up set up Paul, and trying to get him out of the picture so that she could then get the money and the house and stuff. Does that make sense?
It does. But then why continue after?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. I don't believe it was Paul.
Okay, I have another theory.
Okay.
Okay, say it was, what's her name?
Karen.
Uh-huh. Say it was Karen. And she wrote all of the letters involving this family. So she wrote the letters about Mary. She wrote the letters about that got Paul put into prison or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Killed Ron.
Oh no, that kind of ruins that theory.
That's because that's his sister.
Yeah.
Well, like, why would she want to kill his?
I just wonder if some of these letters, like, once they kind of got out there and the small town started talking about them, and they're like, oh, did you see that Mary got this letter and so got this letter? And then other people started
copycatting?
No, because they all came from Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the cops.
You think so?
I don't know.
I mean, it kind of seems like that is the most... But what would they have to do about the letter? I don't know. It's just...
Bored.
Yeah, like they're in the break room just writing letters. Let's write one to so-and-so. Let's write one to this person. Okay, did you see what this person did?
Bored.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Paul Fresher maintained his innocence until his death in 2012, where he passed away in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, weird.
That's my story.
And when did the letter stop?
In the late 90s.
Huh. Weird.
So those were my ripples in there
Wow.
about the other teacher that was murdered.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like spewed a ton of names and a ton of information at you, but that was it.
So who do you think did it?
I think it was the police department.
You think they...
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know what they'd have to gain other than Sheriff Radcliffe. And maybe he had stuff on the other police and was threatening them or maybe bribing them with bonuses or something. I don't know.
What if Sheriff Radcliffe was in love with the superintendent?
Mary?
No, the superintendent.
Oh, like a gay affair?
Yeah,
Maybe. And he didn't like that Mary was hooking up with him?
maybe.
I mean, that's a stretch.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know. You've got to find a motive. What if it was none of them? What if it was just like this little old lady who did like little, daily walks through Circleville,
It was Betty.
and she was just sick of everyone's bullshit?
I would go with that, but I don't think it could be a little old lady just based on the handwriting alone. Because little old ladies have like very dainty, almost shaky handwriting, and this is very bold block letters.
I don't know. I think that's like stereotyping. You never know. Maybe she wasn't a little old lady. Maybe she was a big old lady.
I don't know.
I want to see these letters.
Okay, I'll show them to you. Do you have a last thought and a shot for me?
Yeah, let me grab it.
Okay.
All right.
Last thought and a shot. Last thought and a shot. Last thought and a shot.
So since you're covering Ohio, I wanted to look up some stories of what happens there in Ohio. And it turns out that pretty much all they do is sports. And I don't know anything about the sports ball.
I don't know sports.
So I found this one story.
Ohio's big on sports.
Apparently.
The Ohio
Buckeyes.
Oh, chocolate and peanut butter. Yum.
Yeah. They're a team that just can't be beat.
Yum.
I found a story about one gentleman there in Ohio. And I'm going to show you a picture. And I am going to have you guess what he was arrested for.
Oh no. Oh no.
Any guesses?
Exposing himself.
Wow, you are really good because this man was arrested for having sex with a van in a parking lot.
With a van?
Mm-hmm. With a van.
Oh.
A man in Dayton, Ohio is facing indecency charges after a witness reported seeing him attempted to have sex with the front grille of his van parked on the street.
So not even like the gas tank. I was picturing
The tailpipe?
or the yeah. So the
No,
van
the
wasn't
grill.
having it. He
I guess-
attempted, but she or he was not willing.
I don't know. Officers responding to a call Tuesday evening found the suspect 35 years old. Oh my gosh.
He's 35? Oh, how good does that make you feel about yourself right now?
Wearing only a pair of black shorts and black shoes, according to NBC4. I wasn't going to say his name. Let me just move on past that. Was taken into custody and put in the back of a squad car while officers spoke to a female witness. She said she saw him pull down his shorts and put his genitals into the front grille of a red van parked on the side of the road.
Oh, it wasn't even her van. Just some random van.
I'm hoping it was his van. Yeah. When the suspect passed out on the front yard near the van, the woman called the police. He woke up and was walking before police came to the scene. Officers who questioned him said that he appeared to be intoxicated.
Well, you think?
I sure hope so. Police contacted, oh no, it wasn't his van. Police contacted the owner of the van, who allegedly said that he was unaware of the incident.
Ew.
Oh, yeah. So he was booked on indecency charges and taken to the Montgomery County Jail, where he remained on a $2,500 bond.
So he was just drunk? He wasn't on drugs?
They said intoxicated.
Oh.
So that could mean anything.
Gross. I'm not going to look at my van ever the same again.
What kind of drugs make you want to have sex with a van?
Ecstasy?
I have no idea. And that's my last thought and a shot.
That is a big thought. I need a bigger shot for that one. Okay, pick yours for next week.
All right, actually, I'm not going to because I didn't do my one from however many weeks ago because
you did the Arizona.
I did. I went back to Sedona. So it was a conspiracy in somewhere that I might have to go back and listen to the episode and find out. But I'll tell you about a conspiracy theory.
In a state. Is it a U.S. state? I think it
was a state. I just don't remember which one.
I don't either. All right. Well, cool. All right, all you El sickos. Have a great week, and we'll see you later. Don't forget to be a fountain.
Not a drain.
Bye.